feel that experience you've got with Aaron kind of came to show itself on that free play you had Monday night?
Yeah, definitely. It felt like it was right back to the way it used to be. Having an alpha play where we catch them with 12 men on the field and able to complete a couple passes.
So Randall, is your wife and the kids, are they settled back in here yet? Or
Yeah. We're back. Everybody's here, settled. A lot of adjustments. We were renting a place and then had to move rentals but everybody's settled. The kids are getting settled in, so we're excited to be here and get everything in order.
How was your quarterback as a host for that first week or whatever when you were moving into your other place?
Oh, it was great. It was great. We got to watch some of the Olympics. We watched the Olympics just about every night. Went through a couple installs of the offense and just trying to get me up to speed. And, you all know how he is, the way his brain works. Mine doesn't quite work that way, so I had to be like, okay, this is enough. I'm going to get this from my coaches, okay, because you're just going too fast right now. But yeah, it was nice being able to spend some time. Since I've been back, I guess a little over a month now. We probably hung out more in this time than in the past 3 years. So it's nice to get back and be able to spend some time.
So how long were you staying there? And the kids and I had never stayed there, right? Did they?
No, they didn't. I think it was probably 10 or so days. Can't remember exactly how many. Training camp days, they just kind of compound pretty fast, so you lose track of time. But it was definitely nice getting that time. And then once Ida and them got here, we were able to get settled in and try to get our feet planted.
Were you expecting it would take a little time just to get integrated into the offense and kind of get more involved?
I had no expectations whenever I came in. I'm a person that, I've had to earn everything I've ever had in my life. And, I don't think that changes just because I walk into a new building. I got a lot of things I have to prove to a lot of people. And that's the attitude that I always take. My ego definitely would, based off of what I've done in my past, of course, all of us every person in that locker room, they want to play every single play, but it has to be earned. And, that's what I'm trying to do, earn the respect of everyone in this building and get my opportunity whenever it comes.
Randall, it's on seemingly every time I turn on the TV. So have you seen The Shawshank Redemption?
A long time ago. So I don't know all the references, but
okay. But
yeah.
Last time we saw you kind of likened yourself as getting out of prison. So are you, looking at the blue ocean of Cihuatanejo at this point, or where, kind of, in all seriousness, where are you in terms of feeling happy and comfortable and back with your guy and all that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, back with my guys. It's multiple. It's not just Aaron. Obviously he's a huge piece, but Bakhtiari and Tay and Mercedes and Marquez and those guys, being able to be around them every day and spend time is always nice. And I just have so much gratitude every single day when I wake up. I'm in an unbelievable position, not only to be able to play the game that I love and get paid to do it, but also to be somewhere where I'm happy and content, not complacent, but content and happy to go to work every day and enjoy my time and spend it with people that I love to be around.
Randall, you accomplished great things in your own right, but you've been here with Jordy and obviously Devontae and some great receivers. Have you ever seen anyone covered and doubled like what they're doing at Devontae?
Not that I can think of. We've definitely gotten looks that we haven't expected these first 2 weeks. The defenses are going against what they've done and basically, played a lot softer. And I think that goes to show the respect that they have for Tay, but also the respect they have for Quez and his ability to get on top of people. So I think as a group, we provide so much, so many different ways that we can attack that it makes teams a little bit scared and puts them in different positions and tries to make us win going the long way.
I mentioned the
the free play. You had 3 catches there, right, in succession, 2 of them on third down. Is that kind of a sign of where you're at with the offense, and it's really starting to click with you, and you sense Aaron looking your way in those moments more now because of that?
No, that like you said, though, 2 of those 3 were free plays. So that's right back to backyard football, doing what we do, being able to catch teams with 12 men on the field. I feel like I got a pretty good grasp of the offense. The game flow is going to be the game flow. It's going to go the way it does, and I can't control that. I got to make sure that I'm prepared and ready whenever my number's called.
Devontae was joking with us the other day about the Janice over Adams hashtag from a while back. How do you think he was able to go from that, the early years, to possibly the best wide receiver in the league right now?
It's a mentality. I think it's just the way that he attacks every day, and he doesn't let the naysayers and the people that don't matter get in his head, because their opinion doesn't matter. It's about who he is and the guys around him, and continuing to have that support from his teammates and from his coaches to help guide him and push him in the right decision, in the right path. It's amazing to see. And he still has that attitude and that mindset that he has everything to prove, and he takes it with him to practice every day. And if he has a drop in practice, or if he has a bad route, he's frustrated and he's mad about it. And that goes to show just the mentality that he has and the way that he attacks every day.
Randall, can you describe the emotion the first 2 weeks of being back in a Packers uniform during the regular season?
It's really kind of worn off, to be honest with you. It's like walking into Lambeau for this past game, first home game. It was an unbelievable experience. Obviously, having fans in the stadiums again, that brings the electricity for us as players, and being able to walk out on that field, and just that memory will ever be ingrained in my mind. The warm-ups, the Woodson talking right before kickoff, and the flashlights or whatever the fans had. I guess that was camera phones that they were flashing. It was definitely a special moment, but I've kind of gotten into my routine as far as what I do every day, prepare myself for practice and prepare myself for the game. So it's all business and all football for me right now.
Hey, Randall, I know earlier in the offseason, Devontae mentioned that last year he was kind of the only veteran in the room. With you being here now, how have you tried to use your voice and your experience to help out the younger guys?
I would say just letting them understand, and when I say understand, I'm talking about just the flow of the games. Obviously, it didn't go the way that we wanted to after the first week, but it's a long season. We can't hang our hats on one game. We had to move on, get back to practice, and prepare for week 2. Obviously, we all want to play and play every play. We all want to have 10 catches and 150 yards and 3 touchdowns every game, but that's not going to happen. And understanding that we're building something together, and we all have a piece, and maybe one of us will have one of those games here and there, but we have to understand that for us to win ball games and for us to be in a position that we want to be in January going into February, it's going to take all of us, and we have to understand that we all have a role, and we all have to play that role and be the best that we can be in those times. And when we get our chances, you do what you do when you get it, and I think that's pretty much been my message to all the guys, and I have to tell myself that too. We all carry our ego onto that field thinking that we're the guy, and we have to make sure that we check that and know what's important, and that's about team success, and that's about us winning ball games.
Randall, when you look at film, what do you see from the 49ers defense and specifically their secondary?
They got some really good players. The number of changes have kind of thrown us off with, watching film and stuff like that. But, they got a good group of guys. I think when you look at their edge rushers, getting the way they're able to get pressure on the quarterback, it's going to be very important for us on the outside to make sure we're winning our one-on-one battles and continuing to move the sticks and put us in positions to find a way to win a game. We're going into a hostile environment. Like I said, having fans, this would be You know, obviously playing in Jacksonville is a little different than playing in New Orleans, but now we're going to San Fran with their home crowd. It's going to be a test for us. So being able to understand the importance of communication and making sure we're in tune with the game plan. So maybe we don't hear the whole play, but we hear enough to understand what the play is and know what we have on that situation.
Hey, Randall, in the game on Monday night, Aaron had a throw to Tunyon, not the touchdown throw that everybody was raving about, but he had another throw that it looked like he was like trying to help him draw a pass interference penalty, and I asked him about it, and he said, no, it was just a really bad throw by him. And I'm wondering, you've caught, what, ballpark 500 balls from him in your career. How often is the ball not where it's supposed to be? And having played with two pretty darn good young quarterbacks the last 2 years, how is he different in terms of accuracy compared to other really good quarterbacks too?
He's really, really accurate. You know, he's going to have misses from time to time, like anybody. But a lot of time his misses are still in positions where we can make a play on it. And, you know, that's where our side of it comes in, where we're able to make some plays for him in certain situations and at times. But he's unbelievably accurate. And I think the biggest adjustment that I had coming back was just the zip on the ball. You know, like you said, I played with two very elite quarterbacks in my eyes, in Deshaun and Dak. And the ball just gets up on you a little bit quicker with Aaron. And it took me a couple days to get readjusted to that. And, you know, I think he's playing lights out as far as from what I've seen from him in practice throughout training camp in these first 2 weeks.
This is the kind of question I would rather ask in the locker room, where you could sit in your locker and think about it for a while, so I'm sorry to put you on the spot. But there was a throw in Minnesota to Jordy years ago. It's a touchdown throw, and the defender doesn't even have his head is turned the other way, and it literally goes past his ear hole, and I think only Jordy and Aaron saw the ball. Is there a throw or a catch for you that you remember that he put it in a spot where nobody was ever going to get it except you, and you were like, I don't know how he put it there?
Yeah, I think it was the Bears, maybe 2012 or 2013. It was basically the same play or the same route that Tunyon ran this past week. Basically a seam route where the defender had his back turned, kind of the same ball, a little lower in front of me, but he couldn't get to it. And that's kind of how we view it. Anytime we have man situations and the defender has his back to the quarterback, that's basically to us thinking that we're open. And it's important for receivers to have late hands in that situation. So, yeah, when the guys have their back turned, quarterback's looking at that like he's completely wide open. So.
And on the flip side, I think there's a game against the Bears where you make this, maybe it's 12 or 13, where you make this unbelievable one-handed catch that you have no business catching it, right? Do you remember that one? Where you're...
Well, if it touched my hands, I expect to catch it. So.
Well, for those of us mere mortals that are watching it happen, like you are full extension. Is this sounding?
Yeah, that was the 6 touchdown half that we had against the Bears in 2014.
So that's
at home.
Where the receiver bails them out when the ball's not quite where it's supposed to be?
I mean, we get paid too. I know. Aaron is a football guy, but you know, we pretty good too on the other end of that, catching the ball. We got some guys that can make some of those plays. So yeah, I mean, that's a part of it. Like he trusts us in certain situations where he can put it into place and us make a play for him as well.
2 more in here.
Randall, you mentioned late hands. We hear that from a lot of guys. And is that one of those things that kind of gets passed down from the older receivers to the younger guys in this league, kind of that concept? Is there a certain guy that you learned that from when you got here? Or?
No, I think it's more experience. You can't really teach it. It's kind of like just a thing that you feel. And over time, whenever you play enough football, you start to understand that once you start reaching out like this, defenders are going to knock your hands down. So the longer I can run and then just stick my hands out real quick, it makes it a lot harder for the defense to stop that. So it's just something that you pick up over time.
Sarah, you go ahead on Zoom.
Okay, just one in here, Aaron Nagler.
Randall, have you noticed here now your return trip to Green Bay, a new offense, a larger emphasis in the run game? Obviously, when you were here under Mike, you clearly ran the ball, but under Matt, we've heard a lot about the blocking necessary at the wide receiver position. Have you noticed that difference, say, in practice and like just the emphasis throughout the week?
Yeah, it's definitely more of a run-first mentality as far as setting up the play action pass, and it's not as much. It's still spread, but it's not as much spread as what it was before. But yeah, there's definitely an emphasis on the run game, and you know, as far as blocking for receivers, since I've been here, we've always been really good blockers. We've always had a great blocking group. We've always stressed the importance of that. I think you know, it's a little different now with the rules and understanding where you fit into play and the blocking scheme with the line and who we have depending on the play. So yeah, I mean, that's probably the biggest difference. But as far as the mentality's always been there.